Hey, I want to talk about rice and beans and why they can be a cornerstone in your nutrition plan, whether you want to gain muscle or lose fat. If you like this, please give me a like and subscribe for more. I love rice and beans. I know what you're thinking. What does the whitest guy you've ever seen know about a dish that's most popular in Hispanic cultures? Well, I have learned a thing or two from my Latin brothers and sisters over the years, and I can tell you that rice and beans is a great meal choice. Let's get the protein debate out of the way right now. Beans are not a complete source of protein, but when you combine them with rice, you get all the amino acids your body needs to build muscle. Doesn't matter what kind of rice it is, even white rice is fine. Now, it is true that plant proteins are not quite as good as animal protein for building muscle, but the difference is very small. A 2025 meta-analysis looked at 30 different studies on protein and muscle mass, and concluded that animal protein was slightly better because your body can absorb it more easily. But in the real world, this doesn't matter if you're consuming a large amount of protein, i.e. around a gram per pound of your body weight, which is what you need to build muscle or hold on to muscle while losing body fat. Why? Because at that point, you're getting enough total protein to cover your needs, even if some of it can't be fully digested. Now, unless you're a vegetarian, I wouldn't suggest getting all your protein from rice and beans, but you can certainly use them to replace meat and other animal foods here and there for the sake of variety. And that's what I do. Another reason I love rice and beans is the cost. Meat is generally one of the most expensive foods you can buy, but you can usually get a can of beans for under $1 and a bag of rice for barely more than $1. That's a lot of protein and fiber for a low price. How much protein? Well, if you use a 15.5 ounce can of black beans, that's 28 grams of protein, and 1 cup of white rice is 8 grams. So you've got 36 grams of protein right there. If you want to pump up the protein a little more, you can add some reduced fat cheese on top, which also adds a lot of flavor. A can of beans and a cup of rice also gives you 150 grams of carbs, which sounds like a lot, but if you're eating to gain muscle, you should be taking in carbs pretty liberally to fuel those workouts. Also, of those carbs, more than 20 grams are fiber. So you could argue that rice and beans is a great diet meal as well. It's filling and it could keep you satiated and therefore less likely to overeat later in the day. The recommended fiber intake for adults is around 30 grams a day. So one big meal of rice and beans could take you 2/3 of your way there. Of course, you don't have to eat an entire can of beans and a cup of rice all at once. Part of it could be a side dish, or you could portion it out over the course of a day or two. Frequently asked questions. If it's not as bioavailable as animal protein, how can you tell how much protein you're getting from rice and beans? It's totally fine to estimate it. Count the amounts of protein in the beans and the rice and combine them. Honestly, you don't even have to have rice and beans in the same meal together. As long as you get the total amount of amino acids you need over the course of a day, your body will straighten it all out. That goes for any plant protein foods you like to consume, including nuts, seeds, and other grains besides rice. What's my recipe for rice and beans? 1. Chop up a medium-sized white onion and a few cloves of garlic. 2. Sauté them in a pot with a tablespoon or 2 of oil over medium-high heat until the garlic and onion soften. Olive or avocado oil is fine. 3. Add a cup of rice and sauté for 2 more minutes. 4. Add some vegetable broth, about 2 cups or enough to cover the rice completely. 5. Bring to a boil and cover. Reduce the heat to low and then let simmer for 15 to 20 minutes. 6. Add the beans and seasonings and stir. I use a teaspoon of cumin and a dash of cayenne or a Goya Sauzon seasoning pack. Let me know in the comments if you have a good rice and beans recipe. What kind of rice should I use? Go with your preference, but white rice is a good choice if you want to gain muscle. It's not as filling as brown rice and it's easy to digest, so you can eat again later and get more calories in. Brown rice has more fiber, which helps with fullness, so choose brown if you want to lose weight. Aren't rice and beans loaded with anti-nutrients that hurt digestion? Not really. The short answer is if you have trouble digesting them, don't eat them. For the rest of us, they're fine, and they won't harm your gut or your gains. Follow me for more nutrition and sign up for my newsletter at fitnessdistilled.com. The link is in the description.